Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host is here, Superman. How you guys doing? I was trying to change it up a little bit, but hey, look, sometimes it doesn't play out. But here we are. We got the watch party on, guys. Watch party, and yeah, ProveX, and yeah, it's a pretty big day. We've only got a little while to go, so it's going to be pretty fun. Less than an hour, just over 40 minutes. So we're going to check that out. Big shout out to Crypto Dan, and nice and early. Big shout out to you. Don't forget, if you're new, of course, don't forget to smash out the show on X. And, of course, maybe if you're not new, maybe if you've been here a while, let's smash it out, hit the repost button. And, of course, subscribe on the way in, hit the follow button, all that good stuff. Pump the bags, all that good stuff. Yeah, big shout out there, Crypto Dan. Yeah, we got a big show today. 40 minutes to go in the ProveX base rates is the best rate that people can get. So that's logically the best time to get in, right? Next time. Now we've got the a video from Richard Hart out around the ProveX sacrifice, and we got Brennan, our TA guru in the house there. Hey, super interesting video. RH getting mixed messages from 100%. That's what I got from that video too, Brennan. I must say that Richard looked pretty healthy from the beard and the hair and the skin and everything. That's good to see. A little bit tired, maybe in the eyes a little bit, but other than that, he looked pretty good. And yeah, pretty fresh. Nice video. Good to get a video from, but definitely mixed messages in that video. A lot of pros, which I think I'll talk about, but a few issues, let's say, a few challenges, a few concerns for sure in there if you were listening closely. So for those that maybe they fell asleep halfway through, but if you're listening closely, there are a few little gems around insights and strategy perhaps in there. But definitely mixed messages what I got as well, Brent. Funny, we're on the same page. So there we go. That's interesting. All right. But anyway, exciting to see Richard Hart do a video. Yeah, I think the last one was what, May? May was the last video, I think it was. So we'll be playing that little God mode candles. Who knows when those might turn up, though? Who knows? We can always speculate on some pretty cool days. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the ProveX sacrifice and check out where that is at right now. And then we're going to get into some of the market updates as we normally do, like a normally daily show. But we're going to check out some cool stuff. I must say, I am particularly excited, Brendan, about about Liberty Swap and Railgun. I really feel like that's some really exciting stuff. Even though the fundamentals on obviously the fundamentals on ProveX, given the fact that the market cap's going to be quite low, like the capital raises is quite low. I'm kind of more excited about the Railgun and the Liberty Swap stuff. And I'm not saying that that's going to get pumped to the high hill, because there are advantages with Richard Hart, of course, and with the sacrifice project process, and we can go through all those. But I'm kind of more excited about Liberty Swap and the Railgun. Interesting, eh? We got great minds think alike, says Brennan. Absolutely. All right, so let's change view a little bit, and let's pull up the ProveX sacrifice where we're at the moment. Let me do a refresh and get the latest numbers, because we're counting down 40 minutes right now. We will be coming back to the watch party here for the countdown. But let's check this out. Great minds think alike, indeed. Crypto Dan says, hope everyone keeps selling, as I'm loving filling my bags. Crypto Dan knows. He knows how to play this, especially in the next 40 minutes, right, Crypto Dan? We saw some pumping on the Richard Hart video, and then some dumping by one or two key players. But we expected volatility, but it's been better than we expected, guys. The Pulse chain price has held up better than we expected, although we got 38 minutes of carnage. We got 38 minutes of carnage in front of us. Let's check out the chart here. So we got ProveX sacrifice at the moment, 10.935 million. We've got 218 billion points, 10,855 sacrifices at the moment. We got the leader at the moment is the ProveX pool, so they haven't been taken out by Rack and Michelle or any of his friends at the moment. But we've still got still got some 38 minutes exciting countdown to go. It's a bit like watching a big major sports event, isn't it? It's a bit like watching a major sports event. And yeah, we got $4.3 million in the ProveX pool by the Buckamentals team. This is basically the public is the big whale this time. We got almost 112 billion points, 112 out of 218. So yeah, number 2 is I'm not sure who these other ones are. They maybe Rack and Michelle or somebody. But we got 246k, 215k, 210. So we've had some big moves in there in the number 2 to 4 spots, in particular number 5 as well, 132k there, and that's pushed down some other pools, right? So the dollar pool from the other, was it from B Roots and Ian Heinisch, that's been pushed off page 1. Well and truly just smashed out of page 1 is that one. So that is sitting on page 2, I think. Page 2, and it's up here, number 12. So that dollar one has been pushed down there, and they've got a little bit more in the vault. So let's go have a look at their one. They got $2,300 in the vault that they can go and sacrifice in the next 35 minutes or so. That will top them up a little bit. That will take them into, won't actually move them from 12. So they'll be stuck at 12 at that rate. So that is the $1. They're going to be stuck at number 12, but that's a pretty good rate, 1.95. Can't sneeze about that. Whatever I'm saying. Sneeze. I don't know about sneezing. But we got the big ProveX pool. They have a champions at the moment. Is there going to be a late big whale sacrifice in the last 35 minutes from Rack and Michelle or his consortium, or Hex Gold Whale for that matter? We haven't seen anything yet. You're leaving it a bit close if you're waiting that long, to be honest, because 9-second block times, or it is 10-second block times. Now the total value at the moment, almost $8.2 million from Ethereum, and Pulse Chain at $2.3 million. So that's where we are right now. I'm just trying to remember what we were yesterday on the Pulse Chain sacrifice. Just can't remember off the top of my head. I took a snapshot, didn't I? Did I take a snapshot? I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Apparently I did. Yes, I did. Oh, wait, I did it on X, didn't I? I did it on X. Let's pull up the X and see what it was when we did the show yesterday, because I'm pretty sure I put those results at the end of day 20, right? So let's go and have a look at those. Man, I knew I did that for some reason. Let's scroll down here and find those. Here's the results, day 21. This is the beginning of the day. Remember, 23 hours and 59 minutes at the countdown. So this is right at the beginning. And we were sitting at 7.725 million. And now we are at 10.6. So we're up, what's that, 2.9 million dollars. Oh, even more, 9 there. We're up 9. So what are we at there? 10.9. Let's say 11. So we're up 3.75 million approximately from this. So it's a pretty good jump, man. That's over 50%, right? It's maybe 6% jump. We had 144 billion points. We now got 218. So that's a big jump, 144 to 218. And what else? We had 8,474 sacrifices. We've got 10,855 now. So big jump, decent jump. Leaderboard, so they were at $3.25 million, and so they've now jumped quite dramatically. So over $1 million, $1 million $50 or something like that. So pretty big jump there from the ProveX pool. What else? Their rate was 2.54, so that's now gone down to 2. Or it's actually gone up to 2.6. So they've ended up sacrificing proportionally more, and they've apparently got over 1,000 counts now on their wallets. So that's pretty cool. They were 840 yesterday. But look at the big moves. Look at all the leaders that we had before. 25DD was 156, and 25DD is still number 2, but it's up to 246. So I wonder if this is Rack and Michelle's wallet or somebody like that. 29CO2. 29CO2. Well, that's been pushed down, isn't it? In fact, it's been pushed right off the first page, from the looks of it. It has. It's been pushed right off the first. It was number 3. It's been pushed right off the first page, and we've got a whole ton of new entrances in there now. Now, a lot of these wallets with 100K could all be Rack and Michelle wallets, right? So could be all just the same whale. Just a bit of a lot of perhaps coincidence as well as being more people coming in on the late move. But this could all be tied in, a lot of stuff potentially. And so here we are, 33 minutes to go. Where else? We got some more comments in the chat there. Busy day, says Wookie. Busy day indeed. $1 million. $1 million. Wookie's about to sacrifice $1 million. Now, the thing about this is that because it's a smart, the argument is because it's a low public sacrifice at the moment, so we've still got 33 minutes, and this is the best rate day, right? It's not could continue on, of course, but this is the best rate day. So presumably the whales will go in today, right? And they've got 30 minutes to go to do it. But this is the best rate, and therefore it's a relatively low value raised, and therefore it's something that Richard could pump quite easily. So I think his argument was basically this: if we can do 1,000,000% on something like this, and then people get rich, and then they rotate into pulse chain. So I use this key term rotating, which from a historical point of view is a little bit scary, and this is where I get from Brennan stuff. And I use the word scary because it's quite a change in public communications. But yeah, so that is using the word rotation, and that's almost like trading, isn't it? We're not supposed to be trading, and that's hodl, right? Hodl. And so yeah, now we've got rotation in the mix. So I don't know, you guys decide. But nevertheless, the idea is that it's easy to pump this. This, of course, is EKP. Technology is kind of out there already, but you're adding a token and a burn on it, right? Pretty much it. It's still got to be have adoption, and then for the 2% fee to be burning it off. So that's the magic there. And obviously the base there, you can pump it up and hopefully get more use. Sort of push the price up. Hopefully gets used. The technology itself gets used more, and you get more burning and so on. So yeah, a little bit of stuff there with the protocols. Pulse chain at the moment, it's $2.3 million. So the good news is that this should slow down. Now we know the first couple of days will still have decent sacrifices in them because people come late and they only have to pay slightly more on the base rate. So this first couple of days in particular, let's say 5 days, maybe 7. We'll see, maybe up to $1.50 or something, maybe $1.75 even. But just certainly in the first couple of days, we'll still have a decent little sacrifice to people because it's only a little bit higher, right? 6.25%. But once you start getting up, 20-30%, surely that's a bit higher. Now, obviously, the public pool here will still be ticking away there. But is there going to be a late comer in 30 minutes? Is there going to be a big whale that comes in and puts, drops $5 million, drops $6 million? We'll see. And presumably, it's going to be from the ETH side. We'll see. What else? Let's see what else. There we go. If RH uses the sack bags for ProveX, that would be interesting. Yeah. So that would be interesting later on, presumably after the volume ranking bonus in the third phase with the flat rate. I think it was when he was used last time. Makes sense. It's not to smash the volume bonus, but maybe he does. Who knows? And then takes 85 to 95% of supply. Crypto Dan says moving the bags would have a nice burn effect on ProveX alone. Says Crypto Dan. Well, the burning fee is on the application, isn't it? On the peer-to-peer privacy ZK ProveX technology. So I think that wouldn't really happen until then. I don't think there's any token taxes at all. Well, Wook is at the bottom of the SAC page. Let's go. Nice one, no Wookie. All right, so you got to be in it to win it, right? You got to be in to win it. So the old idea was if you can pump this, a small base, you can pump it mad gains, then you'll get some rotation potentially back into the pulse chain stuff, into PulseX and stuff like that. Apart from that, he was saying the normal stuff about it's the normal stuff about that pulse chain is a chain with with low volumes, it's got slight inflation. PulseX, of course, is deflationary, although we've had really low volumes lately. We have big jumped in volumes today, though, so it's good news relative to what we have had. And then Cent token is just slightly inflation. I mean, it's very slight. I mean, it's almost non-inflationary. And then, of course, you've got Hex, which is subject to staking. And I can't remember what the report was from Ben Sierra about where that's heading at the moment. There was a report out in the Monster thread. I just can't remember the conclusions on that at the moment. He says, I'm holding the whole. Think up, super. Yeah. So obviously this has been seen as a much better play because of the low base and the potentially big upside, and that's kind of been reaffirmed there by the video from Richard. So let's play a little bit of the video. I have posted the video on YouTube. So it's on all the 3 YouTube channels, on the Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and the Pulse Chain X. I'm not going to play the whole video. But I do want to play a little bit of the beginning. Why not? Let's play a little bit of that. And we might play the video at the end. We'll see how we get on. Where is it here? I got rid of this old video. All right.
Hello, everybody. Richard Hart here. Hello, everybody. Richard Hart here. I hope you've noticed at ProveX.com uses zero knowledge proofs. Project stuff blockchains can't do. It does stuff blockchains can't do. And then puts it on chain off chain. And then puts it on chain. So the token stuff burns a token. It's being given away for free to those that have sacrificed. Given away for free to those that have sacrificed. Go check it out. Sacrificing for like $8.5 million. I think it's like $8.5 million worth of sacrifices so far. So ProveX.info is where people are making a political statement by throwing money away. Political statement, 8.5 money away, and then ProveX.com, and then the free token that's being given away to people is the free token that's being given away to people that are in the sacrifice set. You can go check it out. You can see what go check it out. Other people are using the software for now. Other people are using the software for now. Look at Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin, conglomeration of a bunch of free and open source conglomeration of a bunch of free and open source software front end. They used a free and open source front end. It only ran on Windows. It only ran on Windows. Programmed in C++. Programmed in C++. They used open source databases. They used open source databases. Right. So we stand on the back of giants. Open source. The breakthrough. Right? So we stand on the back of giants. The breakthrough handing out tokens to unramp people.
All right, so that's a little sneak peek of that video from Richard. Now, the thing I want to talk about was the actual sacrifice amount. So we had yesterday we had 8.2, just under 8.2. Well, we have got 8.2 million now, but yesterday we had 5.5. So it's jumped a lot. So what's that? 2.8 million or something like that. $2.8 million on Ethereum has jumped today. So it's pretty good. And then of course this is nothing compared to Pulse Chain and PulseX. But it's pretty good based on yesterday, and the Pulse Chain's gone from 1.4 to 2.3, so that's 900k. So pretty proportionally big jump there on the old Pulse Chain. BSC, I don't know what they were at, 139. So the BSC's up, and base is up a little bit. So BSC up there, maybe 25k. That's the play right now. All right, so that is some of the stuff happening right there. We're kind of watching this countdown. We've got 26 minutes to go. We're at 11.1 million, guys, so we just crossed over another milestone. Brennan says, sounds like an overlay, super hard to hear. I think the reason why is because I have the audio open up on the Chrome tab. That seems to be causing the issues. When I had a collab on the other day with the Runify guys, we spent half an hour trying to get the weird feedback, and it's because you share the audio on the Chrome tab. I think that's what's causing that issue with the with that. Two voices, yeah. It's because I've got sharing the audio on Chrome browser. I think that makes sense for both events. So I'll try and before I wasn't sharing the screen on the audio, and they've added that feature. So now it's now I forget that it's there. But hopefully won't have too much problem after that. Feel like I'm eating magic mushrooms, says Crypto Dan. Yeah, sorry about that. All right, you guys are a tough crowd. Keep me to the standards. Keep me to the standards there. $11.1 million right now. 222 billion points. Almost 11,000 sacrifices. And Wookie is one of them down there, deep below, under the ground. All right, leaderboard there. No change in the leaderboard. Rackham Michelle, maybe he's a lot of these wallets here with 100k. It looks very suspicious. Who knows? But it is what it is. It's still well short of taking number one spot, unless he's got a whole ton of 50k ones all over the place. So look, maybe he is some of all these 50k ones. Let's look. Maybe this is suspiciously Rackham Michelle. It was all these 50k wallets. They all just popped up all over the place. We only had a couple of 50k wallets. Now we've got heaps of them. But still 4.3 million is a lot to beat out. So you're going to have to pull out some magic there. Anyway, so we've got 24 minutes to go, right? And that is counting down. Now let's quickly look at the Pulse chart. Pulse chart had a lot of volatility. Woo-hoo-hoo! Got pumped on the old Richard news. So let's go to the hourly chart. So got pumped on the Richard news, right? Richard did a post with his video, right? That was 2 hours ago. Did a post there. You can see it right now. And in the chart there, it did a nice little pump. Got a little pump there on Pulse. Went from, 2 hours before that, it was down at 1,700. So, and then it pumped up all the way up to 1863. Still pretty cheap, even at 1863, right? But then it just got absolutely smashed down. Not surprised by this at all. And here we are at 1675 right now. we are very close to making a new all-time low. So we've got half an hour. I think it's only half an hour, 20 minutes. We're going to make a new all-time low, and presumably this should be the all-time low before Pulse Chain recovers. Now, that being said, there are a bunch of crybabies, crybabies. So who knows? They might send us down again. But arguably, this could be the very, very bottom that we're about to witness in the next 20 minutes of all time. But, you know, saying that in crypto is foolish, right? Foolish. But we're going to say it just because it makes for good streaming. But, yeah, this was our low here. This is our second highest low, 58. We've been at 1654, I believe, and that was a long time ago. Back in March. So let's see how we get on here. 1679. Are we going to make a new all-time low in the next 20 minutes? And that is going to change the history of Pulse Chain. We will find out. Brendan says, I'm lower than Wookie. I'm lower than Wookie. Yeah. All right, so that's ticking away. 22 minutes, guys. Are you guys nervous? Is everyone nervous? Let me know. Look, good thing I took these snapshots, right? Good thing I took these snapshots of yesterday. We got good benchmarks, exclusive to the Crypto Night Show. Screw those other channels covering the ProveX sacrifice. We got the base rates, man. That's all that counts. You need something to base on. I'm just kidding. All right, so here we go. We got 11.1. Let's do a refresh. And let's see where we're out there. We got the 21 minutes to go. We are ticking it down here live on the Crypto Night Show, streaming around the world from the old cool country called New Zealand. Oh, we've had a crash in the Matrix. It's not Neo that will save us, is it? It's going to be Mr. What's his name? Mr. Anderson. He's the one. He's the hero. Mr. Anderson is the hero of the Matrix. That's a twist. It's a twist in the Matrix, Mr. Anderson. Screw Neo. Screw Neo. No, I'm just kidding. All right, 11.139 million at the moment. I know a lot of you guys are fans of Neo. 11,000 is total sacrifice right now. 11,000 people. We've got 20 minutes to go. What is going to happen? Are we going to get high drama? 4.3 million is the ProveX pool from Bunkermentals, so they'll be very happy with themselves. Made some mad gains too. They're getting a percentage of the multiplier, right, which is 2.61 at the moment, so it's gone up. And I think someone said it was 16%, so I'm presuming it's around right. So the Bunkermentals, these guys know how to make mucho grandes. They're adding a service, though. They're adding a service that people can get a 2.61 multiplier. So it's just like any business. You get paid. All right, so it's cool. All right, so that's ticking away. Pulse at the moment is about to make a new all-time low. This is crazy. Let's go to the daily chart, and let's go to the weekly chart, actually, because we got more stuff there. But weekly there, this was the previous low, right? The previous low back here in March 25, so earlier this year, and we had the low at 1654. Based on the week, based on the week count. I don't know if there's any intraday, funding going on, but 1654. We got pretty close 2-3 weeks ago. We got to 1688, but we have been to 1658. So 1658 is what 6/10 thousandths, is it? I think that's right, of higher, something like that. So anyway, we're about to make a new all-time low, and then that's it. That's it for Pulse Chain. That's the low. And it's game on from here. And people, they're going to still sacrifice, but it's going to be at a much dumpable rate, and we'll get net buying rather than net selling. Will we get that? Was the next couple of days still significant sacrificing, and people, are going to be cry-fagging, as it were. 1680. Are we going to witness? So let's go back to the hourly chart there. It's not a very good-looking chart, the old Pulse chart. So let's have a look. It's good for buying, though. It's good for buying because it's nice and cheap. All right, 19 minutes to go. There we go, 19 minutes. Now the question is Richard? I shouldn't say that. I better not say that. What have we got there? Pulse bottom a quadruple 0113 bottom, and then 1000x is Crypto Dan. I like where you're heading there. Well, apparently it's going to take rotation for that Crypto Dan, based on the Richard video. which is not surprising actually, but it's the narrative has been changing over the years. I think it will be Brennan and Wookie holding this whole thing together. I think you might be right about that, and Crypto Dan, because Crypto Dan is contributing, I think, big time as well. But the three of you could be the three amigos. Three amigos. Was there a fourth amigo? I can't remember. Anyway, if you guys are new, don't forget to share the show around on X at the repost button. We got watch party. In fact, I think there's a watch party at the top of the world and a watch party at the bottom of the world and a watch party in the middle of the world. I think we've got streamers every part of the world, the bottom, the top, and the middle. So it is a big watch party for the ProveX. Yeehaw, says Crypto Dan. Yeehaw indeed. All right, so we've got 17 minutes to go, guys. Let's have a quick look at some of the stock market news quickly. We come back into that very quickly. So the S&P 500 climbs as bullish bets on tech resume. It's kind of the play. So we had green day on the Dow, S&P and the Nasdaq, all up. 0.4%, 0.25%, 0.6%, all up to pretty good numbers here. 47,500 almost for Dow Jones, 6,800 for S&P, and 23,400 for Nasdaq. So not bad there. US dollar at 99.2. Fed rate cuts, expecting good stuff happening at the moment, showing manufacturing weakness, and we got a bit of employment weakness. But I think that's all going to go away into next year. And so, this is going to be good for the meeting at the moment coming in for the interest rate cuts. So that's kind of where we are right now. Looking at the commodities, we've got West Texas $58.62 on Brent oil, down a little bit there. Gold at $42.39, and silver. Come on, guys, if you're holding silver bags, doing well. $59.10, and apparently that added $100 New Zealand yesterday. So onwards and upwards for that. Let's have a quick look at the Fed rate monitor as we're counting down here. We've got 1 week and 19 hours to go, guys, to the Fed decision. 84% of the market is expecting a rate cut, 25%, 25 basis points. That's awesome, quarter percentage point, and that will take us to 3.75. And inflation has been around 2.9 to 3%, right? So good news there. Good news. All right, so that's pretty much that. Crypto. Let's look at crypto at the moment. We'll keep on the small screen here, but crypto's up big time, 6%, 3.19 trillion. Bitcoin at 91,500, so back over 90K, up 5.8%. Ethereum back at 3,000, up 6.8%. XRP up 6.6% to $2.16. BNB up 5.8% at $877. Solana up 9.3% at $139. Tron up 1.1% at 28 cents, and Doge there is back up 7.4% at 14.6 cents. Now, yesterday we saw that Cardano got flipped at number 11 by Figure Hallock. Hallock has been flipped again by Cardano. The Cardano ADA guys, Hodgkinson, they cry a sigh of relief or something. That is up 12.5%. So nice little jump back there with the old Cardano. Top 100, I guess best performer over the last 24 hours is Solana, up 9.3%. Best performer over the last week in the top 10 is actually Bitcoin, up 4.9%. So that's good news for Bitcoin. Top performer in the top 100 is Sky, up 30%. Pump Fun, up 20%. Quant, up 14%. Casper, up 9%. And SuChain, up 8%. Those are the top 5 in the top 100. Top 1,000, Ancient 8, Echelon Prime, Piverse, and then the trending at the moment, Monad, Pudgy Penguins, and Bitcoin are trending at the moment. So it's overall. So it's a good day in the office. 6% up on market cap and 7.4% up on sorry, that's not right. What did we say? 5.8% up on Bitcoin and 6.8% up on Ethereum. So that's kind of cool. That's going to lead us into the Pulse Chain stuff later on, but we're going to get back to the ProveX sacrifice because we've got 14 minutes to go. We got to go forward here. 14 minutes to go, guys. And we're up to 11.58 million. So the money is starting to flow in here. We are counting up here, but look at that. Oh, it's definitely coming into this number 2 address here. 300K, that's gone up. 266, 215, 200. So yeah, it does look like a spread strategy, doesn't it? All these new wallets coming in, maybe very well be Rack and Rochelle's consortium here, coming in and doing a spread amongst many wallets. So there we go. We've got the $1 one from B Roots that's fallen down from number 12, number 13. They're getting pushed down there, but we're getting a lot of changes here. We've still got 13 minutes to go. Exciting times happening here live on the Kryptonite Show. All right, so let's go to the chart here on Pulse. Pulse making new, no, not quite, almost, is it? Not quite new all-time low, but just about there. At least on the weekly charts anyway. 1663, not there quite yet. And let's have a look at the ProveX pool. This is the main pool winning at the moment. Let's have a look here. They've got they have slightly different numbers. So I think slightly different, 4.4 million. So that's ticking away there. A fee, ProveX fee. Oh, there is a 10% fee, not 16%, 10% from the looks here. No, it goes up per day. So apparently, are you kidding me? Our day fee is 33%, guys. Apparently, day 21. 33% of the volume multiplier they get. That is greedy stuff. That is, isn't it? Eh? That is greedy. You might as well not go into a lot of that pool stuff for a lot of it. That's little cheeky profiteering there. A fixed rate I could understand, right? Providing a service, but that's some pretty cheeky stuff right there. 33% coming in on today. They're making mad gains on that. That's free money for them. All right. We got the volts at the moment from the one token, which the people are trading. That's $2,300 sitting in the vault balance. I'm sure that must be going to be sacrificed soon. Surely they're running out of time. So those are the pools right now. Boys, the chain might be down, but as some people know how to make mad gains, taking it off everyone else. Right? All right, we've got 11 minutes to go. 11 minutes to go, and that's where we are right now. ProveX pool there, making mad gains. 33% on the multiplier. OMG. That's good earnings there. I think it's going to be Christmas time at their house. Christmas time at their house. We got 11.58 million at the moment, 231 billion points, 11,100 total sacrifices. We got 11 minutes to go. We are counting it down. We're counting it down here. Once that finishes, of course, we're going to jump over to the pulse chain markets and see how they're all going after this. We got Wookie announced there. I think it will be Brenton and Wookie holding this thing. Yeah, we covered that one, didn't we? $102 New Zealand on silver. Wow. Diamond nuts not selling, says Brennan. Not us, B, says Wookie. Not us, B, says Wookie. All right, so let's go. Where's the chart going? Oh, well, we get some violence in that chart. Let's go to the 5-minute chart on the old pulse chain. We got wicks coming down here, guys. These guys, they're selling down. So we've got 1650. We technically got a lower low there, so it's a new low. Yeah. Let's go to the daily chart. I'm going to scroll this all the way through. So we definitely had 1654 there. And the opening day, of course, we had, 3 days later, the moon pools. We had 2766. So by my count, that's the new low in play. 1650. So we technically got a new low there. Technically got a new low. I'm going to go to the 1-minute chart now. Let's go to 1-minute chart on the pulse. We're at 16. We got a new low, guys. That's a new low by my counts on that chart. All right, so let's go to we're under 10 minutes for the countdown. We're watching this watch party is getting serious. We're getting serious here with the watch party. We're down under 10 minutes. We're at 10 minutes. Almost 11.6 million, 231 billion points, 11,157 sacrifices. TikTok, it's time to rock. Yep. We've got lots of these big wallets coming. Are they all the same person? Question mark. Are they consortium of people? Question mark. Let's go over to Rack and Rochelle. Let's go to Richard first, see if Richard's got anything. Let's see here. Richard. Nothing there. Rack and Rochelle. Let's test Rack and Rochelle. If Rack and Rochelle's got anything. No, he posted something 11 hours ago. Nothing since then. Let's actually go into the see if he's got any comments. Sometimes no comments. Yeah, I don't know what's this trend. Have you noticed this trend amongst some pulse chain influencers these days? Not following people, not allowing comments. It's a little annoying. I can understand if you're being harassed or something. You ban out, but it's a pretty negative kind of a trend that we've noticed. Not really a big fan of it myself. What are some of your key takeaways from RH Video Super? We'll talk about that in 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, O'Brien, we'll kick into that. That's a good term. Or should we talk about it now? Anyway, we got 7 minutes to go. Let's just do the countdown first, I think. We'll just go to the countdown and focus on this. All right, 7, down under 8 minutes, guys. Down under 8 minutes. There we go. We're still not much change, actually, in the last few minutes. 4.4 million. No big whale coming in. If they're going to come in, they got to come in like now, really. Got to scoop, do the sniping. Come in the last maybe 5 minutes. I mean, it's only 10 seconds or whatever on the chain, isn't it? But still, you might have some hiccup on the way. But we're ticking. We're on that last day here, 21 on phase one. Phase one there, the base rate is 10,000 points for $1, and you also participate in the volume ranking bonus. Then we move into phase 2 after this in about 7 minutes, and then it goes up by 6.25% on 6.25% on the base rate, and then it goes all the way up to the end of day, from day 22 to day 54, and it's $7.39 on the base rate plus the volume bonus, and then after that it's just a flat 75%, and it goes to $7.85 and no volume bonus, and all the way up there. So yeah, you definitely want to get in early. Okay, let's stay focused. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now. 6.5 minutes to go on the countdown live here on the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house, having a good time. Actually, I wish I had a drink, but I don't have a drink. Cocktail. Let's go to cocktail from the cocktail bar. I had the aircon actually on, turned it off, which ended up being a mistake. All right, pulse chart. Oh, new low, guys. New low, 1609. These degens on this chain. Oh my gosh, good buying, guys. Buy. If you're not on the sack, buy. You got. Let's see if we get a revert. Are we going to get a big vertical in 5 minutes time? In 6 minutes, are we going to get a big jump back in the chart there, Brennan? What do you reckon? 6 minutes, we're going to hit that all-time low and then get mad gains. Sean says, I'm in. He's in. Sean's in. Nice one, Sean. Are we going to get a nice reversal now that we've got a new all-time low? Man, the RSI is definitely oversold on the 1 minute chart. Let's go to the daily chart and have a look at that. Dog's breakfast. Yeah, it's oversold too at 26. Are we going to have the mother of reversals here? Are you going to make more money in the short term on the pulse chart than you will in ProveX? Because even though ProveX token's going to launch soon, apparently, it's still not today. All right, let's go find this other site here, ProveX.com. Right, this is the new site, and let's pull that up briefly because we got a little secret sauce in there. Look, it's got the countdown as well. 5 minutes, 4 minutes. But let's go down to the cool stuff. This is the stuff we liked with the website. What is that here? The token will be airdropped freely based on sacrifice points. The token, this is the key line here, the token can launch shortly after the sacrifice phase completes. So how short? Is it today? Is it in a couple of days? Is it a week? I mean, when? Soon. That's soon, though. The token itself can exist before the infrastructure that burns it is fully operational. There we go. Token itself can exist before the infrastructure that burns is fully operational. When's the actual protocol launch? It's just, like I say, I'm actually more excited about the Railgun and the Whale wallet from LibertySwap. At least at this stage, this seems a lot more. Now, obviously, it doesn't have all the pump mentals that Richard has on the ProveX, but it's still a business that's of significance to the chain. Could be quite large, could scale quite large. In fact, it's got early adoption straight away. It's got early user adoption and arguably being rolled out very professionally. So it's exciting. 7th of December coming up. Yeah, and it may give Richard a way of at least taking a fraction of all that ETH over to the chain. 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, counting down. Everyone's nervous. I can sense your nervousness. No, I'm just kidding. I know you guys are feeling confident. You guys have already done the sacrifice. You're ready to go. You're waiting for some whale glory here. We've got the recents at the moment, so we've got the recents. Hopefully it will refresh quick enough. But we've got a whole ton of little ones here coming in. And the old, it doesn't update fast enough, does it? But it takes too long to update, probably because I've got a lot of stuff open too. 3 minutes. We're down to the final 3 minutes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go. Let's go. 3 minutes. Now let's quickly check some of the websites. So the ProveX pool at the moment, ticking away. The X1 there, that they've still got that money sitting there, at least showing on the website. 79,000. They've got to get in there if they're going to get in. What's the point? Get that $3,000 in. That's the thing. Oh, we've got to refresh this too. So we're really pushing the boundaries here. 1635. We have hit a new all-time low. Are we going to get a big reversal in the chart? 2 minutes countdown on this chart here. Let's hopefully we don't have any more issues. I'm going to close that down. We don't need that. We're going to close this down too. I'm going to close that down. We don't need that. We're going to keep Richard open. I'm going to refresh again because we're having troubles. You know, the problem, though, with the website is that might get overloaded in the last couple of minutes as everyone's refreshing around the world. Brennan says, people are rotating into ProveX. Don't follow the crowd, says Brennan. 1 minute and 40. Oh, we're having a lot of trouble here. There we go. Bam. Thank goodness for that. I was a bit worried. $11.8 million is the value right now. 1.5 minutes to go, guys, in the base rate, the best rate that you can possibly get there from a base rate point of view. We're ticking away the leaderboard. We're going to ignore the transactions because it's just too data heavy apparently. But we're going to go to the leaderboard. Hopefully we get a refresh there. 1 minute. We're just about to the 1 minute countdown. Are we ready? Get ready, guys, for the 1 minute countdown. 1 minute. We're counting down. I was off by about 2 seconds, but we're counting down. We got the 4.5 million is ProveX pool at the top. 300K, 266, 215, 210. Many of these might be Rack and Rochelle wallets or associates. Part of the gangsters. We call them the whale gangsters. Not financial advisors, Brennan. Not financial advice indeed. 33 seconds. What's the pulse chart doing? There's the pulse chart, 1660. We have reached a new all-time low, though. That was 1604. So just only a fractionally lower, new all-time low, but still there. 20 seconds. We are counting it down. Alive here in Houston, Texas. I'm just kidding. I'm in New Zealand at the bottom of the world. It's a long way away from Houston. A lot of flying. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! We did it, guys. We did it. It's amazing. It's amazing. We did it. We did it. It's amazing. I'm trying to find something here. What else? I think that's it. All right, so that is it, guys. Well done. We got through at the end of the day. We're now at the end of time. Let's do a refresh here and get the latest, and we'll do a couple of snapshots for our homies, as it were. Apparently, everyone's a ghetto person now. Right, let's do a refresh here, and that is our ticker timeline. Let's do a refresh to get the final results there. We're going to take a couple snapshots as a team. There's no me and team or I and team. So 11.8 million, 236 billion points, 11,263 holders. That was the results. We had 4.5 million for the ProveX pool, 300,000 and 266. The best multiplier for the ProveX pool there, 2.619 is the ProveX pool. Now, the retail book won with that pool. However, Buckle Metal guys made mad gains, and everyone's a sucker. Everyone's they did provide a service though. But I think the pricing was a bit rough. A bit rough there. Did what though? Did what? I'm not sure. All right, let's jump up here. All right, so let's scroll over here. Let's take a snapshot of that. Bam, bam, bam. And let's take the one. We've got a snapshot there. Let's take another one of the leaderboard. Take one of that. Take a leaderboard snapshot. Bam. And we might take page 2, eh? Let's take page 2 as well. Top 20. Why not? Just loading, one moment. I probably crashed the matrix now. Now the question is, are we going to get a bounce in the chart? That's the pulse chart right now. We're sitting at 1665. No bounce yet. No bounce yet. It's time for rotation. Time for rotation. Damn, that thing is really stuck in the matrix now. All right, so let's take a snapshot of the US dollars, since that other thing was taking forever to get top 20. Let's go to the snapshot there. Bam. We've got that. So that's cool. We've got all snapshots. Let's go back to the leaderboard. We're going to go back to page 2. It's having can't make its mind up to refresh. But that is the sacrifice results. 11.8 million, 236 points, 11,263 sacrifices, and we guys know that that's a play. So that's the end of that. So let's do another post. Let's put that in. Bam. Let's go ProveX day 21 results. Well, it was better than we expected, actually, to be honest, and we did make a new low, but it was right at the end of the day. And what do we say the results were? let's put the post in here. Was it sacrifice results? We'll keep it nice and simple. Sacrifice results, and we're going to put that in, and we're going to make another. Was it leaderboard? And we'll put that in. So I think this one here. Bam. All right. So take 200 results. And ProveX day 1, the results 11.885. Let's go 85 mil. 85 mil. I think that's right. 85 mil with 11,263 sacrifices. That's probably good enough, eh? Sacrifices. All right, looking good. I've got a space in there. Let's do that. We got that in there. What else there? Leaderboard. What do we say? Blockchains. Thanks for bearing with me as we do this live. All right, so we're going to go up there. Make little spaces there. Pull that down, and we'll put in the last one. Bam. Take that away. Everything we're looking good. All right, so we got everything we wanted. Everything we could possibly dream is in there. ProveX day 1 results. The best base prices. best base price. I know it looks a little naff now with that, doesn't it? Let's screw it. Let's do it. Okay. ProveX day 21 sacrifice results. Boom. All right. I'll put in some emojis because you guys know I've got to have emojis. We got the fire. Let's do the rocket. Bam. And there we go. That's time. Oh, well, stuff the rocket. It's not there. Let's go. All right. So that's out. We did it. It was live. We did it live. All right. So let's smash it out. Let's give it some love. Let's give it some love there. Bam. All right. Very cool. So that is the results. Kind of cool. The pulse chain chart at 1674. We did print a new all-time low based on this chart, which is 1604 now rather than 1654. So we beat that out there by what 50 thousandths of a point. So I think that's right. Something 50,000. So it's not 51 thousandths, something. I don't know, something like in that ballpark. So that is the result on pulse chain. Let's jump over to Richard Hart. Let's see if he's got anything else after day 22 started. So we're on that second phase now, where the rate's gone up by 6.25%. There's nothing there from Richard, but we'll keep him open because you never know. He might push something out later on. Rack and Michelle. Let's see if Rack and Michelle made any comments. Did he suddenly say, "Hey, I surprised you guys. I tricked you guys out"? Yeah. Nothing from him there. So we'll leave that. Let's go to pulse chain. Pulse chain results. Where are we on day 935, guys? We're finishing it up. That's where we are. That's where we are. What else do we got? Crypto Dan says, I'd be worried being in that pool when they get the tokens airdrop, trying to get them out to everybody. Says Crypto Dan. Yeah, could be a little bit. Well, apparently they've got devs that may have automated it, Crypto Dan, rather than using a spreadsheet, which I think the Magic Cart Rides guys are doing. Advanced, pretty awesome spreadsheets. But I think they're talking about their devs having done it. So if that's the case, it shouldn't be too bad. Brennan in the house there. They are a developer team. What is that thing? Is that a prize? I'm not sure what that is, but kind of cool. All right, let's get into it. Day 935, and we've just had the ProveX day close. I think we're pretty close to this day closing as well. Quadruple 0167. We are up just a very tad. We've reached a new all-time low, so it can only be up from here, guys, unless we got more Jeets and Degens smashing it down. PulseX there, Quadruple 0109, 1.55%. We're sitting at just under 11% of the main sacrifice price. We got the buy and burn has hit 8.2%, so that's up slightly. In token at the moment, 63 cents is at up 2%. We got Hex at the moment is at 31/100th of a penny, up 2.25%. So the best performer at the moment, EHEX at the moment at 1/10 of a penny. Combined price of EX and PX is just over 4/10 of a penny. Can you believe it? That's crazy stuff there. Let's go to the stats. Have a look at the gas prices. 2.5 million beats, so quite high. Obviously, at the moment, 10 cents for a swap at the moment. Validators 52,353, pretty what we've had the last sort of 5 days. The bridge. Let's have a look at the bridge value, 80.6 million. So we were below 80 million yesterday. I think we were 78 or 79, something like that ballpark. We're back over 80, so that's good news. 80.6 million. Looking at the bridge stats from yesterday, this won't be the latest. I think we've got a new snapshot coming up. Actually, should do a refresh, We might have it now. Let's see. Well, 258 was what it was yesterday, negative. Let's see if we've got a new updated one now. Because I'm not sure. We must be pretty close to the end of the UTC day. I'm pretty sure we must be pretty close. Maybe it's still 50 minutes away. Not sure, but that should be coming out. Anyway, it was negative yesterday. Pulse chain volume. Well, that's the good news because we were stuck at around $5.5 to $6.5 million for day after day after day. Pretty sad. Didn't matter if it was a weekday or a weekend, and we're back up at 70.5 million today. So that's good news. We've got some green candles. Well, we've got new tokens. Bull rise there. Been around for 2 hours. That's up 4,700%. Dev C coin been around for 3 months. That's up 20%. Pulse Guy there is up 18.6%. Tied into the old peacock there. SCADA from Nuke the Supply team is up 13% there. Vouch from the I always forget his name. He's a great guy and he's real smart. I just forget his name all the time. Brendan, help me. Help me. What's this guy's name? He's Australian. I just forget his name all the time. I don't know why. Just one of those names that's like sneaks away. It's not Chechnya. I have Chechnya in my mind, but it's not Chechnya. Damn it. What's his name? Vouch, the Vouch guy. That's up 12.3%, and that's the number one validator on Pulse Chain, right? So let's quickly have a look and see whether they've got any update. Jexa. I said Chechnya. Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him. He'll laugh though, probably laugh. But Jexa, yeah. So they had some updates. I'm not sure when the last one is. They've got over 5,000 validators. Can you believe it? 5,000. Unbelievable. Number one validator there. So that's all. They're heading towards 10%, aren't they? Heading towards 10%. I think this is going to perform like a boss. Absolute juggernaut. I think this is one of the juggernauts on the Pulse chain, and it's probably got a pretty good entry at the moment on the bottom of the Pulse price right now. You match that bottom of the Pulse price, assuming that is the case that we just hit, and then Pulse, then it's really Voucher's only got one way to go, and that's up and frickin' to the right. Go Jexa. Go Jexa. Smart guy. Okay, UFO at number 6 is up 10%. That is cool. And we got PDC. They've unveiled a new website, haven't they? So we've got to check that out later. Peacock. Peacock was up earlier. Obviously, that's rolling out the railgun at the moment, so it's loading, as I call it. And Peacock there on the daily, sitting at 95/100th of a cent. Yeah. And we've got Pulse at the moment. The ratio is at 563. So nice little run on the ratio there. And like I say, I actually am pretty positive about their railgun. All we want is a solid team doing solid stuff, and just ticking off the wins every day. Don't need them to do magical stuff. Just need them to do the solid stuff. That's all. That's it. Nothing difficult there. Now we do have some cool stuff there. I'm going to go through that in a minute. They do run a pretty crazy kind of X sometimes. Like they've got all these, turning Liberty Swap into some sexy girl or something, whatever you want to say. But they came out. Good morning, Peacock leading the way. And let's have a look. Let's scroll up here. I'm going to scroll up here at the moment. The devs are cooking around the clock. Railgun is coming on schedule. This is great news, right? And it will land on the newest Liberty Swap contract. Now, we have done the contracts. The contracts were upgraded yesterday, so that's good news. So that is coming along quite nicely. And also, this is not really around Liberty Swap, but the Fusaka upgrade is coming, right? So that is pretty cool. So that is looking good there. And what do we got there? Transactions here. Ethereum block spam transaction. It's capped on spam transactions there. So that's kind of cool with the gas limits. So nice little stuff going on there. Fusaka, that's coming. That might lift the markets even further. I think that's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow or today? Is it today? Maybe today sometime. Let's have a look here. Scroll down. Now, this was something they posted 16 hours ago, but it's kind of cool, about incoming orders and outflowing orders with the liquidity. Now, I just we don't really know who's funding Liberty Swap, but Liberty Swap seems to be able to pull, when they need to, they seem to be able to pull liquidity in at all sorts of times. So, interesting stuff. All right. So that's kind of cool. We just got a pullback in the pulse, have we? Do we get a pullback in the pulse? Let me scroll up here. I got rid of the chart, didn't I? Too early. I got rid of the pulse chain chart too early. Now we could know that there could be some weakness after the day 21. That's definitely plausible, right? 1637. Are we still down there? 1654. So we're still down. That was our previous low, was 1654, but we have got a new low there. We'll keep a tabs on that pulse chain chart. Won't let it sneak away. So that's Liberty Swap. Liberty Swap, guys, is ramping up. And so the 7th of December is when we're expecting that to have finished the process. It's quite a lot of process there. All right, we got Zendog at number 10, up 6%, tied into the old Peacock as well. So we do have quite a few Peacock movings. We've got Vouch and SCADA, a few other teams. Number 11, RSI oversold up 5%. World's greatest P-Dye printer up 4%. Staked ETH up 2.8%. Teddy Bear 2.7%. Number 17 is Source on Mini Meal, just below 4 cents now, but up to 0.7% today. PDC the Greys on the big reveal, that's up to, it's up 1.5%. It depends, it's 2.5% on the pulse pair. Let's go have a look. That's at number 19. Let's go have a look at their X handle and see what the reveal was all about. Let's see if we can get some insights into that. Let's see here. 4 hours ago, exciting update. We're refreshing our brand, new logo, same mission. Stay tuned for the reveal. So that's coming up as well. So there's a new rebrand going on with the old the Grays currency. But I do believe that they had their demo. I'm pretty sure the demo's been on, right? The demo has been on. Maybe we have to look for Prairie Banana, but I'm sure they had the reveal on. Where's Prairie Banana? Prairie, I thought Prairie might be on the main thread here, but apparently not loved enough. Prairie needs to get himself some respect. He needs some respect from the official PC the Greys. You heard it here first on the Kryptonite Show. He needs some respect. Where's some reposts on the old main thread? Brand new PDC website there 2 hours ago, guys. So if you want to check this out, go check it out. Prairie Banana does a great job. He is the man for the PDC Greys. In terms of analytical coverage, and if you want to learn all about it, so PTGC, there it is. That's the link right there. So bam, that is it there. There we go, and check it out because I got new sneak. Shall we sneak peek? There's a little sneak peek. I don't know about the audio, but we'll try and sneak peek.
How big it can be.
Oh, there it is. There's some of it there.
They're distributed and how
nice, looking good, eh? With the gold
mistakes.
and staked and locked.
So what we've generated in the last day is $288. You can actually look at
for volume.
Yeah.
It's in this market cap. Cool. See.
So anyone who has onboarded over $5,000 amount.
Oh, they got referral links too, guys. So if you want to do your referral, get in there, get a referral. That's pretty cool.
Little bit reward. The rewards are going to vary, and they're not for someone here and there.
You got UFO as well. Very nice. That's a little sneak peek, but go watch the whole video. That's PGC the Greys. Big shout out to Prairie Banana there and the Greys. The Greys. Not too bad. I might hit the repost on that, shall we? Brand new website reveal. Let's do that. Let's hit the repost there. Great website. Great looking website. Briefly covered on a live show. Briefly. Keep up the great work. Go PTGC on a pulse chain. Let's do the works. The chocolate chip sprinkles and everything else like that. Get it work there. I got a capital K, right? All right, so bam, that is it. I want to put some aliens on there too, but time permitting and all that. All right, so that is Prairie Banana. Keep up the great work there. The first DAO token on the old pulse chain. All right, so that is it at the moment. Now, obviously, the chart's got a bit of work to do in terms of recovery. It's got a lot of holders, got a lot of influences, got good pros and cons. But as the first DAO token, we'll see whether the bottom of pulse chain is at the same time that we get with the rebound in the old PGC Greys. You can see the RSI is still not fully oversold yet, down at 34. Whether it gets there or not, down to 30 or not, or lower is another question. But certainly doesn't have a lot of, it's below what was previous resistance back here in March 24. So really there's not a lot of determination except for this one here, I would argue, April there. But, horizontal support can be very weak. But that would suggest that 7,000 is the next support line on the horizontal. And that's quite a bit lower than where we are right now, 20% down. So that's the downside. But the upside potentially could be pretty good. We'll see. I haven't got any moving averages or anything else like that, but the RSI is on the weekly is at 34. What do we say the daily was? Yeah, daily's been zigzagging out of oversold all the time, and I've been on a downtrend. So you need more indicators than that to help you with an entry there. But maybe the pulse chart here is the bottom is the timing. We shall see. All right, a lot of bag holders, right? A lot of locking and staking. So that's the play. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now. Some of the other ones here getting a bit of a weakness there. But that is where we are. So where we're up to? We're up to number 19, weren't we? PGC the Greys. Number 20 is Teddy Bear. It's up slightly green. Gopher is the first 404 contract on Pulse Chain. That is pretty much flat at the moment, $57. And then we've got Surgical Trainers is flat there as well at number 22. Everything else is slightly out of the money, although we got Volts, honorable mention there. Volts almost break even. And that is sitting here at number 23. So that's another, potentially huge protocol launching on Pulse Chain. The token's already trading, but the protocol is not yet. Multi-chain, multi-collateral liquidity fork from Fast Abdul. We need more like that, right? More heavyweight protocols like that, and that's exciting. So everything else is down here right now. The worst performer today apparently is Whale Bay. And Sparta down as well, 13%. So Whale Bay is down 31%. Let's have a look at that chart briefly. The worst performer in the trending, top 100 trending. Yeah, I mean, it's had quite a nice run, but definitely had some very proper taking there. Let's look at the pulse ratio. Yeah, down pretty hard there. Let's go to log it. Let's log it. That's the log chart there. So still 10 pulse to a while, but still. Sparta at the moment, not getting much love, is it? Down 11%. Hex is down a lot though, but though it doesn't have that much Hex actually in its treasury. Oh, that's not looking good at all. That's not looking good at all. Ouch, 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 ouch. So even projects that look promising with treasuries didn't quite play out that way, did they? It's been, and of course, probably a big victim of the ProveX sacrifice there too. People were looking for their 1 million X, 1 million X rotation. Richard said it, rotation. All right, that's the play right now. Hex at the moment at 1655. We have got a new all-time low Libby swap is ratcheting up there. And Richard Hart, do we have any update from him? Because we're going to get a little bit into this video, and we'll probably play that on the way out. So that's pretty much it. Bam. All right, so I think that's it. All right, so let's play the video. I'm not going to talk very much through it. What do you reckon? And we'll just play it here. I might go get a drink while it's playing, and I'll come back. Or might stop stuff. Some of the general observations before we play it, though, is that there were a few mixed messages in there, a few change of, I would argue, change of long-term positioning by Richard. Basically, sort of confirming that the pulse X and pulse chain sacrifice just too big. But if you got a small one like ProveX, you can move it quite easily and maybe do something like what Hex does. If you get a big 1,000,000% on that or something, of a big move on that. And with guys that have, that's all upside, so maybe they only sell some of it. I mean, it's a big if, right? That's not what we see in markets. And but you can get it for a period of time, and then they rotate into the pulse chain stuff, rotating back in. So yeah, not quite hodling, but rotating was the word he used, which is kind of countered his position as well. Generally speaking, was always to hodl, and but now he's talking about rotation. So it is what it is. Yeah, so ProveX and then rotation into the pulse chain. Now, what he does with all the ETH money. Now, one of the interesting questions that he answered, though, the questions that he answered, I think were very interesting, because one of them was around why did you buy ETH at 37.73, right, and not buy at 1,800 or whatever the price would have been, right? And he just was like, well, can't get everything right, which is nice. It was pretty cool to see him say something like that. But definitely, that tied him into the actual sacrifice with that answer. That answer he tied himself into. That was probably the most blatant time I've ever seen. So it is interesting with that. Once you beat the SEC, I guess you can say all sorts of things. But that is that. There were a lot of good positives there around. Obviously, that the technology is pretty much off the shelf. They probably make a few differences to it, and then it's got a token and a feed burner, and that's probably gives it the advantage. Now, the advantage, of course, it's Richard Hart. Right? It's another advantage. Another one is there's still that ETH money out there, potentially. If we take Richard's numbers, potentially up to 1.2 million, or maybe not quite that much, but pretty close to it. Maybe with his mining in 2016. That he possibly controls up to 1.2 million if he hasn't sold any, got rough bags. So maybe a million from the AA lobby. Maybe he doesn't hold near that much anymore. I mean, it's we're just going off old numbers, but maybe 171,000 ETH from the Pulse X sacrifice, and that gets you, and then maybe some ETH mining of his own on his own time in 2016. Maybe that gets him, maybe not to 1.2 million, but pretty close. Somewhere in that mark. That'd be interesting if he does control that much. That'd be pretty interesting. Now, obviously, ETH has come back a lot. We're down. What do we say? We're down at. We had a rebound today, but we've got a long way to go to get back over 5K. 5K is kind of the big number that people are talking about. So if we do get back up there before Christmas, that would be pretty exciting. Now we know crypto can reverse pretty quickly as well as it does pullback, and we've had that correction that I think that we were due. So it's game on. It's game on. All right, so that's kind of some of the score stuff there. Let's play the video, and I might make some more comments about it later on, but I'm going to find the video. Where did I put it? Over here. All right, enjoy. I'm going to just go get myself a drink, and I'll be back. That's not the video. It's not the video. It's Peacock. Yeah, this video. That was a kind of musical intro there.
Hello, everybody. Richard Hart here. I hope you've noticed at ProveX.com, there's a only project. Uses zero knowledge. Does stuff blockchains can't do. It does stuff off-chain. And then puts it on token. With a token. Earns a token. All this other cool stuff. It's being given away for free to those that have sacrificed. What are they sacrificing for? Go check it out. I think it's like $8.5 million of sacrifices so far. ProveX.info. So ProveX.info is where people are making a political statement, throwing their money away. 8.5 mil so far. And then ProveX.com is the free token given away to people that are in the sacrifice. So what to do? You can go check it out. You can see what other people are using the software for now. So So if you look at Bitcoin was a conglomeration of a bunch of free open source software. They used a free and open source front end Qt. It only ran on Windows. It was programmed in C++, and then they used open source databases. Everything's open source. So we stand on the back of the breakthrough with Bitcoin was handing out tokens to on-ramp people for free. So there was a time when the Bitcoin didn't have a price, but people still participated in the network. They had a belief. They believed in I don't want to say self-custody. It's inaccurate. Holding your own knowledge, your own private keys, which these days are generated by seed words. Back when Bitcoin was invented, there weren't seed words. The generating of keys deterministically from seed words wasn't adopted yet. As a Bitcoin improvement proposal. So long story short, breakthrough with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin was that you could prove people aren't double spending their coins by having a proof of work, which proves that the coins haven't already been spent, and then you wait so many confirmations, economic energy of all of the blocks that are stacked on the one that you care about is enough for you to believe that it's not going to be rolled back. And right now, with Bitcoin over $1 trillion, a lot of economic energy every 10 minutes. Pretty funny to wait 10 minutes for a block to tell you the truth. In Pulse Change, for instance, we had blocks every 10 seconds. It's a lot faster. Is it 10? Pretty sure it's 10. Depends on how people find it. People float a little higher, a little lower, half a second or so. So the breakthrough in blockchains, particularly Bitcoin, was that you have proof of work, doing timestamping, proving that people aren't double spending their coins, and you on-ramp new users because they can mine their own coins for free, at least in the beginning, or they can mine coins out of thin air by enriching electric companies and mining companies. Proof of waste you could later on. And it worked. You've got multiple trillion dollars of valuation. It worked. Now, what are some new crypto primitives that didn't exist then? Well, zero knowledge proofs. So for instance, one of the biggest problems with crypto is if you want to risk off or get into something that's guaranteed to go to zero over time, but does it slowly, the dollar. You need to go through a centralized exchange. There isn't any counterparty risk-free, decentralized on-chain exchanges for Bitcoin that have any volume or have any adoption. The devs actively don't want building things on top of Bitcoin. They reduce the amount of data that you put into the chain, and that works well for other chains like Pulse Chain because it makes it easier for people to launch tokens like pump.tires or use tokens that are already there. It's a full system Ethereum. So if you got any coins on Ethereum itself around 2 years ago, you got free coins on Pulse Chain. So what am I? This is a really long story. This is how it goes. Speaking from the heart, with no script. So long story short, what was the breakthrough with Bitcoin? Giving out tokens for free to on-ramp users. Solving the Byzantine general's problem with double spending. So people prove that their coins aren't being double spent. And now, what is this technology? The zero knowledge that ProveX is built on. What can it do? The Bitcoin can't. It can solve that counterparty risk problem. It allows you to prove things that blockchains can't prove. So many years ago, a few years ago, people developed technology which allowed you to issue cryptographically secure proofs from secure certificates that you see every day with email or you see every day with websites. So when you go to receive an email, or when you go to a website, that little lock, SSL lock, you can do things with it that people aren't aware of. And that's really the breakthrough here. You can issue statements of proof from those certificates. Regarding what is in the statement. So if you go to a web page that has an SSL certificate on it, you can prove that server said that thing. And if you put it on the blockchain at that time, or at least no later than that time, you could solve a lot of other trust. So blockchain solve double spending trust and timestamping when things happen trust. But they can't solve for you without this other technology that runs alongside them, makes them more powerful, can do things they can't do. So if someone let's say you wanted to trade without a disgusting middleman in the middle, in exchange, the guys that get hacked, de-anonymize you, ruin your privacy, ruin your security, lose your coins. Ask you a bunch of weird questions. It's the least enjoyable part of cryptocurrency. It doesn't need to be that way. You can trade directly with someone else. So the problem with trading with someone else is issue of trust. Where they say they sent the money. Did they send the money? They said how can you prove they sent the money before you send your coins? Well, ProveX allows them to sign a statement from an extension in their browser. You do it other ways too. But this one way you can do it. That proves that they sent the money. And so if two people perform a trade, it's not just restricted to cryptocurrency exchanging, or is that even the right word? Basically, anytime someone wants to prove that they did something. As long as you trust the server that's issuing the proof. So let's say if someone said they PayPal'd you something, you could pull proof from the email they got from PayPal's email server or from PayPal's website itself. You could issue a cryptographically secure proof from either of those that showed that indeed this was paid. And because of the zero knowledge property, you don't have to declare any extra information to show a screenshot, which could be faked by the way. What's so interesting about this? So blockchain solved double spending. ProveX zero knowledge tech. And I prefer to brand it just ProveX. I'm not here to advertise zero knowledge. Just like Satoshi didn't advertise the database he was building on. And Satoshi didn't advertise the Qt GUI graphical user interface software he used. He didn't advertise the cryptographic primitive that preceded his work. He wasn't out there advertising SEC P256K1 as a curve. He made a brand. And he promoted the brand, and the underlying tech that was underneath it. He didn't spend any time promoting that. And ProveX, I think, is kind of the same thing. The open software works. The open source software works. It's in production. People are using it today. You could go try it yourself. A version of it doesn't have a token. Doesn't have any token burning. And doesn't really have any users. Barely. You can go to ZK or ZKP2P.xyz. Bad brand URL. It's the same situation. It's an underlying cryptographic primitive that has some users, but is missing the parts that would make something make something bite. People like tokens because it gives them something to talk about. In some cases, there's an advantage for them talking about. So, for instance, would I have a YouTube channel if I didn't have any Bitcoin? Probably not. right. So when you are part of a network, when you're part of a movement, you're much more excited to talk about it if you get more vibe, more rewards, more enjoyment, more community, all the things people care about. Some people, gains. If there's a price for a thing, Bitcoin was around since before it had a price. The technology that ProveX is built on has been around, and it doesn't have a price. So it's cool. It's very cool. It's one of the few things in crypto that is new and innovative and doesn't have 1,000 competitors. With layer 2s, 1 million competitors, and the charts of all of them look like trash. With layer 1s, 1 million competitors, and the charts of the vast majority of them look like trash. It's very competitive. So, people kind of have this backwards understanding where they want to buy when the price is higher because it shows product market fit. It has the fear of missing out. And people aren't as interested to buy when the price is lower. And it's the same when you launch a new and innovative 0 to 1 instead of 1 to 2 kind of thing. It didn't exist, now it exists. This type of technology, it doesn't have, you can't point at like Ethereum and go, look, there's the competitor, and look at our addressable market, our addressable market share or whatever. I can't remember the fancy word VCs use for it, but it's like, how much market could you capture? And anyone that's experienced in VC will tell you it's a very dumb way to think about things, but that's the way a lot of people think about it. Like, how big is the thing you're attacking? Well, it's kind of better to do the thing that no one else is doing, because then you have more pricing power. So like if you go on ProveX.com, they're talking about a 2% buy and burn, 1% on each side. That kind of pricing power is awesome. I mean, it's very good pricing power. And in other places like Ethereum, that is now rolling out a new upgrade called Fusaka, it's going to increase the amount of data that people can store by sparsely sampling it. And you're like, well, is that going to add economic value to the chain? I mean, what's the number one market cap cryptocurrency? Well, it's Bitcoin. And do they ever increase the throughput? Almost never. Almost never. And are the fees cheap? Usually not. And is the price the highest? Yep. It's simple supply and demand. If you keep increasing the supply of block space, it literally becomes too cheap, to tell you the truth. Now, in theory, there's infinite demand for free space, but in reality, we haven't really seen the nearly free space get infinitely demanded on a lot of, ghost chains where there's nothing going on. So, I think it would be nicer for people to pay to use the Ethereum blockchain, because otherwise, how do you get the value to go from the things using the chain to the actual native token of the chain? I think people, like, I remember when ICOs used to launch on Ethereum and there'd be 1,000 Gwei to get a transaction in, and it gave people a reason to buy, So, yeah, long story short, no matter what industry you're in, you can underprice things. There is a price at which you're doing bad for yourself and the industry and the customers. You want to be able to afford R&D? It helps to have a price. You want to be able to buy ads to compete with other things? It helps to have a price, to not be free, which is why in capitalism you see almost no free, because those things die or never, they get crib death, they never make it, you name it. So long story short, it is very fun and very nice that there is a new cryptographic primitive that doesn't have a token that I'm aware of, except for this new free one being given away, ProveX.com. Good domain name, good logo. And you can go use the tech. You can go to zkp2p.xyz and try it out. But that, I don't like a lot of the things that they did. I think that they could be much better. So someone should make them better. What a good idea. It's just like Satoshi saw a open-end free GUI software and a open source database. And then he's like, oh, there's a proof of work thing that they use for email where they just, use CPU cycles to prove that you're not a spammer, that you're a real person. So it introduces a cost. And you're like, yeah, you can combine those things into a nice blockchain. He combined open source software, and then he had to choose like a couple parameters. He chose the 10-minute block time. He chose the 4-year halvening. I wouldn't have chosen a 4-year halvening. I would have had it reduced much more quickly. This like, boom, every 4 years thing, it seems stupid. It should be more incremental, in my opinion. So, long story short, I'm excited. It's another thing that's like, what do blockchains do that you care about that are important? Censorship resistance, on-chain exchange to remove counterparty risk. Mad gains is nice. You can have it. That's another thing people don't understand. If people have finite economic energy, more tokens equals lower prices across everything. It's really that simple. It's supply and demand. And the only way that you get around that is if the tokens are reflexive and are holding their liquidity in themselves. So like the majority of PulseX liquidity is in Pulse. And then the majority of Pulse's liquidity is in stables, and then maybe half in wrapped Ethereum from the Ethereum chain. So if Ethereum goes up, it floats the price of Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX, because they're all tied together. If one goes up, they all go up. If one goes down, they all go down. And those ratios can shift as people add and remove liquidity and at what prices they do it and all these different things. But, long story short, it's nice to have something that doesn't have as many competitors, because it's a new industry, a new paradigm. And it can't just solve proving statements about whether you sent a wire transfer, this, that, or the other, or whether you have this many Twitter followers, or whether you really matched with this girl on Tinder, or there's a lot of different things that you could prove if you wanted to, and no one's monetizing that. So it's an opportunity. Now it's a battle to get people to do things new, like just show them the new way. But we've proven that this community is good at showing people new ways of doing things, which is why there's hundreds of thousands of users using new things. You know, I made Uniswap popular. Hex was the majority of liquidity and trading on that system for a few months in the beginning. I make a lot of things popular. Not your keys, not your coins. Downloading front ends so that you can't be attacked through what they call a infrastructure attack, but really it's just you're pulling dependencies in from other places you don't control. And then when they turn their code to be evil, like there's just another NPM exploit a few days ago. The son of Shah Halud, I believe it was called. And then before that, there was a Shah Halud infrastructure attack. But basically, if you care about secure software, you shouldn't be downloading dependencies. Dependency is just a fancy word for software you didn't build, but you need, right? Like Satoshi didn't build a database software. He pulled an off-the-shelf one. Ethereum didn't build a database software. They pulled an off-the-shelf one. And because they use multiple consensus clients, I think they've got multiple databases they use as well. So like Geth changed from LevelDB to RocksDB, and then it cut their RAM usage in half just by changing their database. It's pretty funny. People don't realize what goes into these things. They don't realize how the sausage is made. You kind of have to be pretty smart to know all the parts of the stack and know when abstractions are leaking. And it's funny, a lot of people producing secure software. So the guys at Anthropic pushed or used this fuzzing software called Slither. Actually, I'm not exactly sure if it's a fuzzing software because I haven't used it in so long. I haven't used it in like 6 years. 5 or 6 years since I've used it. But it's a security analysis software that looks for bugs in smart contracts. And so the Anthropic guys, Claude 4.5 AI came out, and then they ran a bunch of smart contracts through it, and they found 4.58 or something $1 million of exploits. And so I have this feeling that every time there's a new update with AI releases, that they're going to run all the blockchain code and see where the vulnerabilities are. And that's kind of going to be a race between the white hats and the black hats. Funny stuff. That's why it's great to work in this ecosystem or be a fan of this ecosystem, because we just do everything better. It's now, of course, we get no credit for it because everyone's a scumbag that only talks their own book. They only care about the tokens they bought. The token they bought is a world-changing thing, and anything that's a token that they didn't buy is a piece of trash scam. That's how it goes in crypto. So if you thought Apple versus Android and Ford versus Chevy were spicy, you should see coin you bought versus coin you didn't buy spiciness. It's very funny. I think my camera's heating up here. Hold on a second. Let me turn on the fan.
Just take a moment to pause it there. It's about 2/3 of the way through, I think, on the video. Yeah, big shout out to Tintop for the 5 gifted memberships on YouTube. Big shout out there. Brendan got one. Tintop got one yourself. So that was pretty funny. We got Marmite got one, and Richie got one, and Aaron got one. So congratulations to all 5 of you, and a special thanks once again to Tintop. Nice work there. All right, we've got a little bit of update here. I'm just going to break this video just a little bit here because as Richard's fixing his mic and stuff, because we do have. I'm not going to share the audio this time because on the mic there, but let me just swap these layers around so you can see. Where's the share screen? Actually, that's this one here. Let's do this up. So you can actually see that but after the ProveX, after the day closed, I don't know whether it was just late in the blockchain or feed or whatever, but we had a big jump in the sacrifice set after the close of the day 21. So we ended up jumping to 12.58, which is pretty crazy. So we were sitting at 11.85 750 we jumped another, 750,000 almost, $735,000. So after the sacrifice closed, so that was a big amount of money coming after that. We jumped from 236 billion points to 251 billion now, and we got jumped to from 11,263 sacrifices to 11,378. So that was up another 112 or so, and there's definitely some big bags went in there. May have also been affecting the pulse chain chart, some of the late movers. I did tell you guys that we always have the come lately guys. Apparently that started early in the day. Big shout out there, Tin Top. We have 4.6 million on the ProveX pool. We've got a lot of these large wallets, which may very well be all connected. Maybe Rack and Michelle, possibly. So 300, 271, 260, 215. So lots of those, right? And they go on page 2, a couple 100,000 wallets. So they kind of all could be connected. So that's the play there right now. And how much is from Pulse Chain? Well, 2.8 million almost from Pulse Chain directly. Maybe some indirect stuff in this 9.3 from Ethereum. Hopefully that will cool things off over the next couple of days. We'll start to get slowly, rise up on the Pulse Chain there at the moment. That's kind of the play. What was I going to say? One of the big adopters. I was trying to look for a post here from Liberty Swap, but these guys will probably be one of the first main users of the ZK P2P technology. So there's one thing that users cannot live without, and if they want to use the protocol, they must rely on exclusively. LibertySwap is here to solve that gap and make the whole experience better. Great times ahead. So LibertySwap may end up being one of the key first major adopters that uses technology for Pulse Chain. So obviously with the Railgun, Tornado Cash tie and the Railgun wallet, and of course the ZKP, they could be leading that whole thing. Now, obviously, with the video too that we're listening to, and we'll continue to listen to that. That is some of the updates, but we'll make some comments at the end of the video. So let me pull that back up, and we'll continue on with the last third of the video, I believe. It puts us back, does it? How's that? Looking good? All right.
Hopefully that makes the camera happy. Sorry if it makes a little buzz. When you're shooting an 8K, not that you'll see the 8K, but I've got it, it really heats up the camera. Yeah, it's funny if you pull back my YouTube videos from like 2017, about 8 years ago, the quality's amazing. Why? Because I do everything better. It's better mic, better camera, better lens, better everything, almost everything. So ProveX.com. Now, people wonder, why don't people in Pulse Chain and PulseX and Hex get any advantage over normal people in the ProveX sacrifice? Well, who knows? But I can make some guesses. If you were to, let's say you were to run up the price of something 1,000,000%, and then convert it into something else and be like, you know what? That something else has to also go up another 1,000,000%, can never dip, or I'm going to be mad at you. It's a pretty hard thing to handle. So what if instead, if when people sacrificed, there was less sacrificers, which means less potential sell energy, or what if you had sacrificed before the 1,000,000%? So if you sacrificed a thing before it ran up 1,000,000%, you'd have 1,000,000% less kind of sell pressure later, so to speak. So the theory, and it's just a theory, no one really knows these things. No one really knows where the price is going to go. No one really knows psychology. You're making a lot of guesses. The theory is if people sacrifice things at lower numbers, it's much easier for them to be happy because it's much easier for it to go up because there's less sell pressure. So like part of the reason Hex went up 1,000,000%, in my opinion, is because there's less sell pressure because people were locking it up for years. And so in other systems where people don't have a locking mechanic to reduce sell pressure, you've got finite options available to reduce sell pressure. Less people could hear about it. So for instance, maybe it wouldn't be on other sites. So I looked around on pulsechain.com, pulsex.com, hex.com. I didn't see any mention of ProveX. Interesting. And stupid, probably. It would be cool if that was on there, in my opinion. But it probably leads to less sacrifice and probably leads to less potential sell pressure if the token ever has a price. Now, I've seen similar launch mechanics for free and open source things with Hex and PulseChain and PulseX and Inc. And they all ended up with a price. And they all did multiples. Did PulseX do a multiple? I don't think PulseX did a multiple, but PulseChain did. PulseX might have day one. I have to go look at the chart. So I think fair is fair. I think more liquid things have more value than less liquid things. And I think that if people sacrifice things for cheaper than for higher, then whoever or whatever the future market looks like, it should have less sell pressure in it because there's less economic energy to start with. I think a lot of the reasons, it's funny, if you look at the coins that have launched recently, the charts have been terrible. They go up day one, they go down, and they go death forever. And I've seen this across every celebrity coin, every politician coin. It's wild. I believe part of a price chart shape is based on the number of people that will hear about a thing compared to the number of people that heard about it day one. And so if you front load all your energy onto day one, you're going to get one of those dumb looking charts that's just big spike day one and then people, just dies forever. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. I prefer to have a chart that doesn't look like that. So reflexivity, PulseChain, faster, cheaper, Ethereum. Same code. Check it out. Just some changes to make it faster and make it cheaper. So it has lower inflation by 25%. It has faster block times, 10 seconds instead of 12 seconds. Hex, time locking with very low inflation. Not as low as Bitcoins. Not as low as Pulse Chains. Definitely not as low as PulseX, which only burns, can never mint. And I believe ProveX is the same. It can only burn, never mint. If you want to see a cool looking chart, I hate mentioning a website that, you don't want to show someone a website that has 1,000 million other coins on it that can scam people. You prefer people not get scammed. But if you do know where to look up the chart of, say, PulseX versus Pulse, it's an amazing looking chart in favor of PulseX. And I think the reason for that is because it has such a superior buy and burn mechanic and it can never inflate. There is some inflation in Pulse to stakers. I think they get like 10% a year on average. You'd have to there's websites that track it, like ultrasound.money or something. I don't exactly remember it. Maybe that's Ethereum's supply tracker. Maybe PulseChain Stats has that. PulseChainStats.com. I haven't looked through a lot of these websites in a while. So long story short, I think PulseChain and Hex and PulseX are amazing. And I think all they need is some marketing. And I think having a cool new project that doesn't have as much competition as layer ones or DEXs can work well. Because if what you're trying to do isn't working, you have to rotate. If people were interested in what you had, they would have it already. You have to rotate your pitch. You have to try different things. So if you say this is to on-ramp new users to this thing, and then people check the chart and they don't like the chart, they're not going to like the new thing. If you say the new thing is to help all chains, amplify all chains, transcend chains, you end up with users that don't care to check other charts because it doesn't matter as much, because they're not, the reason the thing exists is on its own. What else? Yeah, some thought went into this stuff, my guess. So I think the chart of a thing that has decamillions of sacrifice is likely a lighter, easier chart to go up than a thing that has, say, a billion, just from a math perspective. What else? I got a bunch of questions from you guys. So that's just off the top of my head stuff. Paper, you see? You can print questions and you can answer them. The Richard Hout account on Twitter asked.
Now we're getting to the questions, and some of these questions that he actually answers, he selected the interesting. So we'll go from here. I thought we actually we've still got about 20 minutes exactly. So I thought it was a third left, but actually we were just about 40% of the way through. So got about 20 minutes to go, and there's the Q&A time.
Hey guys, if I'm going to do a video, what do you want me to answer for questions? And here you go. Here are those questions. You've been tracking the Genius Act. What opportunities does its rulings open up? It lets you create a stablecoin and compete with other stablecoins. So if, for instance, you've got extra overhead or extra counterparty risk or extra smart contract risk from having to bridge, you could find a counterparty that wants to launch directly on your chain, which should reduce counterparty risk. But it's not active yet. So the legislation passed, but the things that the legislation passed, but it has a timer on it where it's not active yet. So people don't know that, and they just pretend that it exists. It doesn't really exist yet. It's on its timer to start at some point. How does having the most liquidity on PulseX versus Uniswap provide value to traders and secure Pulse Chain's position in the market? Well, Uniswap doesn't have a front end that runs on Pulse Chain, and they don't have. So basically, liquidity kind of becomes a first mover advantage. The bigger gets bigger, critical mass kind of snowball kind of thing, because you care about order execution. So when you go to place a new trade, you want the best deal for your money. The best deal for your money is going to be where it's thickest. And then when you execute that trade into the thickest book, it remains the thickest because you just traded into it. And so your fees inflate the LP position of the liquidity providers of that thing. And so because PulseX was the largest in the beginning on Pulse Chain, it's likely to continue to be the largest because unless someone puts in millions and millions and millions of dollars, unless someone puts in like deca millions of dollars at risk to create a larger LP pool on a different system other than PulseX's, it's just going to continue to have better order execution because it has thicker books. And then you have to choose. So if you tie your new coins to stables and they become popular and people buy them, it nukes the prices of everything else because you have to buy stable to get into that thing. So like when Trump Coin launched and they chose to put, instead of Solana's liquidity, they used stable liquidity, it nuked the price. Why? Because people wanted the new thing, and to buy the new thing, they had to sell whatever other crypto they have for stable. Just like someone launched another L2 a couple weeks ago. And guess what? You could only participate if you showed that you had tons of stable. So people nuked the normal crypto prices to get stupid stable. So if you want crypto to do well and you don't want to be scared that any one of your things becoming popular will nuke the price of everything else, you kind of need that reflexivity where everything goes up together. And then it amplifies it so that a move up in one thing moves up everything. But it's a double-edged sword. A move down in one thing moves down everything. And so you basically, I've never seen a coin, I've never seen an L1 chain do well launching a bunch of tokens that didn't incentivize people to end up through the liquidity pairings getting the native token. So for instance, stablecoins used to run on another protocol. I think it was Counterparty Protocol. And then they had a chain that they used, and the chain never made any money because people just paid a little bit of fees. A little bit of fees ain't going to get you nowhere. You need to be the thing that people hold. Store of value is a vastly superior game mechanic and value accrual mechanism than fees. Getting people to buy and hold your thing moves the chart more than fees. That's just how it is. you can go back and read the lore on all these concepts were first elucidated when Hex came out and went up 1,000,000% in a year and a half. Hope that answers your question. How do you hope to see WPLS used on Ethereum to come more embedded into the wider ecosystem? I'm not really a fan of counterparty risk or bridge risk. If you're on-ramping new users, you'd rather on-ramp them to Pulse Chain than to Ethereum. If you own more Pulse Chain than Ethereum, would be my guess, because your price might go up and they might enjoy more potential for appreciation. You know, Ethereum's price is now down after 5 years. That sucks a lot. And is it because Ethereum tech is bad? No, Ethereum tech's great. Well, why? It's too heavy. Market cap's too high. People aren't launching ICOs on it. Okay, so why buy the token? Bitminer, publicly traded. Tom Lee shills it on television all the time. He bought up 3% of the Ethereum supply, 2.5%, 3%. He's down. He's not up. He's down. Saylor bought who knows how many billions. Not looking that great for him either. So you'd prefer something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to get to go up, you know. The S-curve thing is real. Things are unpopular. I'm going to do this backwards for you guys. Is that it? I don't know. I'll do it backwards for you. I'm going to do it from my perspective. And I'm going to do it from your perspective. So this is a normal S-curve. Early adoption, users, flat. All right, well, I called the top in Bitcoin many years ago at 65K before it dropped to 17K. And now it's at like 88K. And a few days ago, I think it was 85. It sucks. Nobody wants a 2X or a 3X. They don't. They want a 10X, 100X, 1000X. They're not. Most people aren't going to get generationally wealthy on a 2X. So I hope that answers your question. I think Pulse Chain's cooler than Ethereum. But if Ethereum goes to the moon, I ain't going to cry too bad either. What's the multiplier to sacrifice firstborn children? I don't think there's any points awarded for that. Why did you buy ETH at 3.7K brev? It would have been nicer to buy it at 1,400, wouldn't it? When it dipped there. Wah! Yeah, no one knows with perfection where markets are going to go. How are we going to deal with banks, governments, etc. when proceeding with ProveX? Surely they would not like the idea, especially in the EU. I think governments like honesty and proof. So if you have something that proves statements and proves honesty, that sounds like a win to me. I mean, the governments appear to hate crypto a little less than they used to. So that's nice. Needless to say, I think our ecosystem has proven very robust to government attack since we beat the government in the government's court, which almost no one else has ever done. So maybe the government's figured out that we're not to be trifled with. Who knows? What are you hoping to have as key features of the minimum viable product? Go test ZK P2P.xyz. Terrible domain name. That working with a token and some token burning would be pretty awesome. By the way, the token can launch before any mechanisms to burn it exist. So you don't have to wait years for that. Launching a token, pretty easy, pretty well understood, pretty well audited and explored space. So I read on the website that the token could be issued shortly after the sacrifice phase. Because it's a PRC20, ERC20. The code is well understood. What if the wrong political party takes office again at some point in the future? Do you think they will again use 3-letter agencies to target you and your followers? I doubt it. Didn't work out well for him last time, but who knows or cares? That's what this stuff's built for, censorship resistance, right? What else? Theoretically, the protocol we're launched would have a banking partner already. Baking partner, it says. That's funny. You don't need one. It's peer-to-peer, so the protocol doesn't touch. It's just software that peers run. It's just code. You can run it or not. It doesn't have any life of its own. It's just like the calculator program in your operating system. You can run calculator or you can not run calculator. It's a tool you can use for your own ends. Doesn't have banks. You might have a bank. That's your problem. Is it possible to fork something existing so we can research it? Told you about that already. Some of these questions are hard to understand. The theory is OTC effectively. Please correct me if my understanding is incorrect. Does it rely on community providing a side to purchase? What would theoretically happen if the community didn't have enough sell pressure at one point? I don't even get this question. It's software that you run like a calculator. Just helps you do what you want to do with your life better. If you want to trade one thing for another thing, you can prove a statement that says that you did something, like paid. You can also automate the sending of coins to where you want to send them. Why does it burn when I pee, it says. You should go to the doctor, mate, or jerk off less. Why would your reason be to not let ProveX buy and burn be directed to, your guys' typing sucks, to PulseX? Why would you buy and burn the ProveX token instead of the PulseX token? The PulseX token is already rewarded by whatever liquidity. If ProveX has liquidity in PulseX, then PulseX buy and burn will be enriched by those trades. It doesn't also need to starve the native token of the new project because you hold that bag. The begging because you hold a bag thing is so gross. Hey, bro, why don't you just give new token to me, bro? Because I have this, Vitalik, why don't you just make it so that validators just give me money instead of themselves? Vitalik, why don't you just inflate supply and give to me, please? That's what your questions sound like. They suck. It's begging with more words. Satoshi, please give me keys to early blocks, please. Thank you. In poorly written, uncapitalized English. Man, I shouldn't have printed so much of this. This sucks. Been a while since I read comments, and it sucks. Please educate to me or translate that tweet for me. Oh, educate to you. Thanks, man. Best wrist... I'm going to say wristwatch because you just wrote watch. Best watch to buy with a $50,000 budget. Don't buy watches. Dumb. As a person that has bought lots of watches, I can tell you there's better things to do with your money. The only people that like watches are other guys. So if you need other guys to like you more, you can buy watches. When you live stream, you should use a clearly obvious AI version of yourself for the first 5 to 10 minutes just to mess with everyone and play into the theories and conspiracies. All of you guys that say I'm not here can kill yourselves. Okay, take that back. Don't kill yourselves. I extremely do not like being gaslit in that I do not exist. And the things I say, I don't say. It really bothers me. If you are intent on telling me that I don't exist and that I'm actually AI, block yourself on my behalf because I really dislike it. I do exist and I like the things that I say. Thank you. You're really smart. Did you go to college? Also, you have a lot of common sense. What city did you grow up in? Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I went to school in Davie there. And I went to community college and it sucked and I quit. Thank you for the kind words. Everything you want to learn, it's on the internet now. The best way to learn stuff is to pull knowledge in as you need it, not to shove a lot of knowledge into yourself and hope you need it one day. You're just going to forget it all. It's all going to be useless. Pull in knowledge as you need it. Rebuild trust. Let's talk about rebuild trust. Go look at the charts that you guys made with your selling, okay? And then see where anything has been any different. it's the same crap, right? You need marketing. That's what you need. We miss you and love you lots. Thanks. Is the 4-year cycle come to an end? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. But even if it doesn't, you've got so many conflicting things. Everyone got, the government froze. That's not a word, froze. The government froze, and then people didn't get paid, and then they had to sell what they had to survive, and a lot of people work for the government, and the prices of stuff people bought crashed, and the markets for stuff got frozen, and they just now today decided to turn off quantitative tightening, so I hear, at the Fed of the United States. And so a lot of those things, and Mr. Bitminer, Tom Lee, hasn't gotten his 5% of Ethereum he wants to buy yet. He's only about halfway done. He's got $850 million sitting in cash, so I hear, currently. So you've got a lot of things that are positive. And then you've got a lot of things that are negative. You've got like S-curve crap and some DAT sold instead of bought. These digital asset treasuries, DAT plays. And it's hard to call it, and you always have 40% dips. And so, Ethereum not too long ago was 1,500. Okay, well now it's 2,800. Well, I like 2,800 better than 1,500. So even if it's like flippity floppity, it's still making much higher lows. If you look at the chart, it's still up and to the right. So I think that, so what, either it keeps dumping and you get your 4-year crap cycle, and then it's over after 364 days if it makes the fractal of the last 2 times it did it, or you don't get it this time because the only people that are in it are institutional money and they own all the coins and retail's not really here, which is why there's no search volume. In which case, maybe you don't do the 4-year dippity-do, whatnot. So it's hard to predict. I hope that people rotate out of Bitcoin into Ethereum and into Pulse Chain. ProveX, you name it, PulseX, Hex, Pulse. I'd like to see those things happen. But in the end, you do the best you can. You do what you know works. And then if it works, wonderful. And if it doesn't, you gave it your best. A lot of people say they've tried everything and they haven't tried anything, So I'm happy to see things happening. Like the charity in the United States is sitting on, I don't know, soon to be 1 million tablets that they're going to figure out how to distribute. As soon as they figure out a way that works better than the way they tried previously, they sent 100K out to random people. It didn't work. Well, that's expensive. You'd rather do it a way that works. So you rotate, you try things differently. You just keep trying. And then at some point, you're what's left. And everyone else has fallen by the wayside and disappeared and aren't talked about and aren't doing live streams and aren't releasing new technology and aren't doing new and awesome things with no competitors. We're doing it better. It just takes a little time. And by the way, Bitcoin doesn't have an on-chain exchange and hasn't for 15 years. Pulse Chain does, right? So like the stuff we have is better than what Bitcoin has. If you keep doing the right thing, it should become more valuable than it in a world where the better stuff gets rewarded. And in a world where it doesn't get rewarded, you should still be a lot higher than you are now, in my opinion. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't, predict prices. I don't make forward-looking statements very much, particularly on things that I've founded. Basically never. Like I don't make forward-looking statements just because the stuff's good enough on its own. You don't have to make unqualified guesses that no one can know the answer to. I know that if you have better tech and you do marketing and there's more potential, that's about all you can ask for. And we do have better tech and we do have more potential. And where's Satoshi's video? He's not doing one. I'm doing one. So, man, it takes a lot of time to read your guys' questions. My God. All right. So, long story short, ProveX.com, ProveX.info, Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX. You just more things keep integrating in the stack. You've got on-chain exchange. You've got time-locked value storage. You've got consensus network that's higher throughput, lower fees. Now you're going to have new technology nobody else has. Nobody else is tokenized. Nobody else has that much pricing power. Cool stuff, right? And then eventually you run out of things to build, and you just have more than enough, and you're just waiting for the tinder to hit. When I say tinder, I don't mean the website. I mean the kindling, the stuff that creates a fire. If you have all that infrastructure, if you have all the greatness, if you've had a bunch of weekends get shaken out, if it's the bottom, if everything's nuked, right? I think it amplifies potential. So I really think that this ecosystem just needs a little marketing. That's it. It's better than so many other things. Really, really, really good stuff. Yeah. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm sweating. My camera's sweating. And I hope to talk to you soon. I'm excited. I think that I feel good knowing that I am doing the best that I can do. And I think if you do the best that you can do for long enough, the world will yield to you. The world is bendable to your wishes if you try hard enough. It's one of the cool things about the time that we're in, you know. Anyway, see you guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, that was Richard Hart, and that is the final one from him. So that was about 47 minutes and 40 seconds long. So a couple key takeaways there is good to see Richard back, obviously. The other one, of course, is the key takeaway is obviously ProveX sacrifice is going to be easy to pump, basically the idea. And if you can pump that, then easy to pump the Pulse chain stuff too. Have we got the bottom in the price of Pulse at the moment? So is this the timing is perfect? We'll see. And of course, you can make a lot of big X's from there. The other big key takeaway besides the strategy around ProveX and maybe Pulse chain price is where just get out and market, market, and think of all innovative ways. Try to do more things, and the more stuff the community does, the better. And then the other, I guess the key thing was here, stop dumping all the time. Obviously, there's a lot of mechanisms outside of the retail book regarding where the price goes, like bots and other things like that. But that's kind of the play. Now, in that vein around marketing and stuff, he talked about, there's not too much left to build. Richard Hart in the past has talked about, a wallet and, a stable coin, things like that on the roadmap. We'll see whether he does come out with stuff like that in the future. Obviously, the Genius Act is still going to take some time before it ticks away, before that's useful. Now, that being said, obviously he's sitting on a bunch of ETH out there, and we'll see what happens with that in the future. He has teased earlier in May around a God mode candle. Of course, we've played that video many times.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment because it's easier to get them because it takes less economic energy because there's less of it for sale.
So we do get a bit of that stuff going on as well. We're going to find out. We're going to find out exactly how that all plays out. But that's some of the guides, key takeaways on the positive side that he put out in today's video. There were a few interesting admissions and comments in there as well, which we saw around the buying ETH, etc. The other thing I was going to say is that the community itself is actually starting to deliver some really good protocols, and the more protocols that we can get that are investable protocols rather than just pump and dumpers or small little communities, that sort of stuff, the better. And that's why I always take a lot of focus on them because they're really important. Now we're always going to have, I think, some heavyweights on the Pulse chain, and presumably we've, or at least we've got some of those at the moment happening that could end up. Now they may not all succeed, but they're certainly looking good. So we talk about Vouch, obviously out there, number one validator, got a very cool model set up there by Jexa. We've got obviously Vault 369, the multi-chain, multi-liquidity fork coming up from Fast Abdul. That looks very exciting. That could be another heavyweight on not only Pulse chain, obviously multi-chain, omni-chain type of strategy. So very exciting. We've obviously got Tetra going to be launching soon. That's at the frontier of that, being able to democratize interactions with the blockchain, and that could be really huge, and might actually, depending on what use cases people have, could end up being a lot more widely used than people suspect, rather than being a high-end niche product that the geeks get into. Could actually end up being a lot of applications could end up being pretty exciting there. And then, of course, Signum Oracle will flow out of that. Obviously, having a second Oracle, an independent Oracle there, going to be very, very powerful. Probably may even have a few more bells and whistles in there, like random number generators, things like that. We shall see. And then, of course, we've got Jacob out there working on the big Mafia game, on-chain bet, and of course the big flagship PUSD algo, the stablecoin, which could be the first decentralized algorithmic stablecoin in the world that works. So we've got all that in pipeline there. So some heavyweights. We've got Coinwell, of course, from Rack and Michelle coming up. That could be a heavyweight as well. And we saw also their CoinApe side as well. So that could be really, really good. So we've got, good number of projects. We've got Liberty Swap, bring Railgun, and the Rail wallet there, that privacy. A really, really big deal with that coming up. And of course, expanding their business model, their fees that they're in, making that more valuable, particularly obviously Peacock benefiting there. And then we've got, other people forking, doing other protocols. Obviously, recently, Better Bank did a Nave fork after the unsuccessful V3 modified fork. And so, you've got teams out there doing that next level down, I would say, like basic forks out there. So we've probably got more of that coming as well. Potentially layer 0 coming from Liberty Swap as well. That might benefit. We'll see whether that plays out with the old PDI scenario. That could be pretty cool. Anything that surprises to the upside like that would be something that might attract a lot of people, a good narrative to sell. We know the PDI narrative has been popular, yet despite where the price is at the moment. So we'll see how that carries on as well. So very important. And look, if Peacock if we get one meme coin that can get in the top 10, that's another way of marketing, right? That's huge. Like, oh, wow, PulseChain's got one of the top 8-10 coins that are meme coins in the world. That's pretty neat. So, Peacock's probably easily the front runner for that with the utility behind it. So we've got some pretty cool heavyweights there. And, of course, we've got Richard Hart on the move as well with his trying out a few things on the market. So, and just never know when we might actually, get some parabolic moves. But was the bottom in today? That's the question. And so let's have a quick look at the charts before we wrap up. 2 hours and 7 minutes on the live stream. Not bad. Let's hide the old thing there. And we're going to go to the pulse chart. We've got the pulse chart at the moment. We've got 4 zeros, 1656. We did get a new all-time low. So we got this back a couple hours back. We got to 1604 on my chart here with the pulse top liquidity pair, 2.3 million right now. And we've got at the moment 18.5 million total volume. And we've got, pretty much a lot of the Peacocks and the vouchers of the world on the move. And a few others there as well. So they're kind of dominating the charts right now. Let's just see if we've got another update here on the ProveX site. I've got a bit of rain fade at the moment, so it's probably affecting the site. So we've jumped dramatically. So even though we finished day 21 on the base rate being the best price, we do have the Richard Hart effect, right, with the video, and that can, probably last up to 24 hours is my guess on that. And so we've probably got all that stuff playing in as well. And the base rate is still only up 6.25%, right? So we're on this first day, and we're up at $1.0625. So still, there's not much in it, right, between $1 and that. So we've jumped all the way up to 13.16 right now. And remember, we finished the day for day 21 at 11.85. So we're already up, almost, I guess, maybe 1.3 million or something like that, already up on their close. So pretty impressive there. And the points have jumped from 236 billion at the end of day 21 to 263. And we're only an hour and a half into the day 22. We've also jumped from 11,263 sacrifices to 11,394. So it's continued to go up. A lot of money is coming through the ProveX pool. We've jumped at least $200,000. $220,000 in the last hour and a half, and it's now to 4.72 million there. Their profit sharing course is going up. It was 33% for yesterday out of the volume multiplier, but that's probably even higher now, probably 35% now, and something like that. So they're making mad gains. They're making mad gains there. All right, so that is the play, and we've got all these big wallets, possibly all linked into Rack and Michelle. We don't know, but unless someone's done some chain analysis, that is where we are right now. We've got 14 wallets that are over $100,000. Looking at the $1 sacrifice for the B roots, that's down here at number 16. So we saw that drop from 12 to 16 over the last 2 hours. That's sitting at 79,000. So that is what's happening with that one. And there is 1, 2 other smaller pools running around. They're probably on further down the line there. The top multiplier at the moment for the ProveX pool is 2.64x multiplier. Not bad in there. But of course, you're paying some fees to get access to that. So you may be better off if, depending on what pool you're in, if you're in $100,000 pool or something. Let's see who else is in here. We got talk to us soon, says Wookie. Indeed. RH is creating his own cycle, says Brennan. Well, that's what he said, right? He said a little while back. He said, I'm focused on pulse chain season, not caring about altcoin season. So, he's got a lot of chess moves he can make, and we haven't seen him make at least the obvious ones that we know of. And he's got moves that he can do that are not so obvious. So we'll keep a track on that. He's been making chess moves on pulse chain all year, right? All year. And so it's just setting things up there. Brendan says the probability of those smaller wallets is leaning towards being RH, says Brendan. Well, it's true too. That's true. It could be RH as well. Hex Gold Whale or anything else like that could be in some of those wallets. And then later on, of course, we're expecting potentially the OA to snap up all the coins, probably in this third phase. I think that's it. Is that it, guys? I think that's it. So Pulse at the moment under pressure, 1624. The all-time low now at 1604. We're just above that right now. So it looks like today, at least the Rich Hart effect may play out there. And of course, the relatively 1.0625 rate there is still pretty cheap. So the next couple of days is going to be interesting, although it should be a lot less than what we've seen, arguably. But maybe the next couple of days is also going to be a little bit challenging on the old Pulse chain. We're midweek as well, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll carry on to that. So that's kind of the play right now. Railgun is ramping up, as we say. So we're on the 2nd, 3rd. So that's going to be the 7th. So we've still got about 5 days for that to roll out. But that's going to be a major piece of technology ramping into Pulse chain. And we'll see whether layer 0 comes in arbitrage and all that good magic stuff there. And see what happens over the next sort of 5 to 10 days with that. And of course, we've got the old bet there, haven't we, between Decentralized Me and Eric Wall to play out by the end of the year. So fingers crossed on layer 0. That's P-die to layer 0 or $1 or something like that. All right, so that's the play. We'll see what happens here. I think it's going to be fun to watch anyway. All right, so that is the charts. I think we're going to close those down. I just want to make a quick mention to the ETH reserves. We've still got Bitmine immersion still accumulating. So they bought another $97,290 million worth on the 29th. They disclosed that. They've still been buying since then. Of course, these prices on the ETH right now are so super cheap. They're absolutely so super cheap right now. That is crazy. So yeah, they're continuing to buy. And Richard mentioned a little bit, but Bitmine immersion, Tom Lee, is sitting at 62% of his target. So still a lot of Ethereum to buy. 6 million is the target. He's got 3.7 million, and that can be significant moving the markets. We know that a lot of these other big heavyweights are trying to get into position, I guess, cash-wise, timing the market as well. So we could see a sudden reversal in the demand, really smashing out supply and get that big runaway to 5K plus in a very short space of time. So keep a lookout. Charts and crypto move pretty violently. We've had a pretty significant correction. And so I do think that is the one before we're going to get that big one that Raoul Paul's talked about in the past when we played that video. I'm not sure if I still got that video queued, but that is one that he's had. Should we find it? Let's actually look, because it's kind of a cool video. I don't know if I've still got it in the library, but we'll have a look. In the library. Let's go to the library, folks. Let's go to the library. I probably haven't got it, but maybe I got it. Maybe not there. That's not it. Let's quickly see. I got Raoul Paul, but I don't think it's the right interview. There it is here. Okay, we'll play this one. Just let me queue it up, and we'll set that up. Let me add that in. So this is kind of maybe the very correction that he's talking about. Of course, we can have more than one correction, but this might be kind of it. Let me just move the video around a bit. Got to square it up, make it look good. All right, so let's switch it on. Let's go.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing each cycle. It's not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats. Don't fuck this up. Don't lose control of your tokens. Don't use leverage. Don't get your wallet hacked. Just sit with it. Be careful. Don't get FOMO. Do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens, we'll have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this.
So he had quite a few good, good points in there, but I think it's even more bullish. I think that we had quantitative tightening finishing pretty much yesterday. We've got interest rate cuts looking very likely, 80% plus for the 10th. We know there's going to be a change of leadership over the next few months after that as well. We know there's already a lot of positioning happening there. So we should move from quantitative neutral to expansion with the money supply plus low interest rates. We've got the holy grail of monetary supply in our favor. We've also got regulations for the banks changing in terms of credits from the Great Recession when they pulled back that credit leverage. So we're going to have those three things all lining up, guys, together. That's going to create a huge amount of cash flow in the trillions with the bank adjustment itself with the reserves. And so it's really game on. You add on top of that, of course, a rebound in the markets from the White House through the institutions and corporates, 401ks, I think all that sort of stuff going into crypto as a diversification and long-term play. You then add on to that, particularly into 26 with the Genius Act and stablecoins, tokenization as well from the SEC and Wall Street and corporates as well. It's massive, right? So this is the play. So, it's not just one day, 1 month, but it's actually a long play. And of course, Tom Lee said it could be up to 10 years, that whole play playing out. Now, we're going to have cycles within that, but I still feel like, coming in with this monetary supply pivot, we're looking really good for next year. On top of that, on a fundamentals point of view, we've got 21 trillion in investments from Trump. That compares to Biden's 1 trillion over 4 years. We've got this in like 11 months. It is mind-boggling. We've also got the intelligence industrial revolution in play at the moment as well. We saw in the video results come in very favorable. So we are looking hot on the US GDP for next year and 27. So I really feel the fundamentals are going to be absolutely massive. That's also a supply expansion in terms of plants pumping things out, and therefore that could be really deflationary in terms of inflation, and the whole economy really goes to the moon. Now, the risks that we do have, so those are the fundamentals all lining up together. We're going to obviously have the Genius Act probably flow into next year, is my guess, unless they pull out a miracle by the end of the year. But also White House investing, Bitcoin and the altcoin stockpile news. We'll get more around that, as well as regulations in that space. So yeah, it's all looking pretty good. Obviously, we had a technical, exploit or a bug, as Tom Lee would say, back on the 10th of October, and one of the major market makers getting affected. That certainly played itself out. And so, yeah, maybe this retrace of about 35% or so is just giving you that right correction for that next big move, as Raoul Paul showed on that chart. And it's game on into the end of the year, maybe next year. into next year. I'm pretty bullish about all that. Now, we obviously have geopolitical risks out there, so I don't want to, dampen those down. Obviously, the China, Taiwan is the big one, but China, Japan at the moment is a little bit itchy as well. But of course, Trump is positioning the military to be able to hopefully give enough of a rebuild in the United States, particularly around rockets and other things that he's been working on, that will dampen down any Chinese move, at least during the Trump era. So that's a food for thought there. And then, so what does that mean? Make mad gains during this time and find a safe country after that. That's probably kind of the goal there. Anyway, jokes aside, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was pretty awesome. Great to see Richard back again. Hopefully we'll see more from him in the short future. Hold on to your hat, says Brennan. Indeed. All right, yeah, jump in Discord if you guys are there. Now, if you guys haven't joined Discord, we do have the Strategy Club. It's only $35 a month, so it's really great value. Just over $1 a day. I just highly encourage you to join up to that. We pass intel in there all the time, so and have great chats and all that sort of stuff. So jump into that. The link's in the video description on YouTube and also pinned to the top of X under the Whoop store. You'll go to the Whoop store and sign up there. We also have standard memberships, which I think are about $15 a month for standard memberships, but that's included in the Strategy Club. So get in there on there. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you again tomorrow. It's time for me to end the show. What a long one. It's the longest one I've done in a long time, 2 hours and 20 minutes. But, special day when Richard gets out and does a stream. All right, take care. Bye for now. See you in Discord.